Let's take a look at the integration of SAP's commercial online and mobile banking offering using a real-world production example from Citizens Bank. We'll start by logging into the online application as user Amy. You can see the application supports integration with third-party security vendors for multi-factor authentication. Once logged in, the user lands on the dashboard that displays a wealth of information, including account balances, cash flow positions, and more. On the left-hand side of the page, the user can always see alerts, messages, or items that need immediate attention, like transactions to approve or release. Now let's see some integration between the online and mobile applications. We'll start by having Amy create an internal transfer that requires approval before money can move. After the transaction is created, we can see it's in approval pending status. Now we'll switch over to the iPhone commercial mobile app and log on as the approver, Greg. Notice the logon process for authentication is similar to that in the online application. For security purposes, unless the user chooses to store their username or remember this device on the challenge page, no sensitive personal user information is ever stored in the SAP mobile app or on the device. What we're watching here is not a static demo. This is a real-time demo showing the actual performance as the mobile application contacts the online banking server in the SAP Boston lab and interfaces with Citizens Bank test environments. Once authenticated in the mobile app, the user sees the mobile dashboard containing similar key information the user needs to know when on the go. Now we'll go approve that transaction created by Amy. Approval items are retrieved from the online application and displayed to the approver. After making and reviewing the decision, it's submitted back to the online application, and in a matter of seconds, we see confirmation that our approval has been successful. We can switch back to the online app, and in real time, Amy can see her transfer has now moved from pending approval status to completed. Next, we'll see an example of a user creating a wire transaction from the online banking site. In many banks, a higher risk-sensitive transaction like a wire transfer requires two steps, create and release, before the transaction is sent. An approval step can also be required if the transaction exceeds a specified limit. In this example, our Amy user needs to send $83.45 to the beneficiary named Pico. In the reference for beneficiary field, she can enter the invoice number or receipt if she wants. Once the wire is submitted by Amy, we can switch back to the mobile app and our wire release user. We'll navigate to the wire release module, and we can see the wire transaction that Amy just created online. We can drill down on the transaction and see all of the details before deciding whether or not to release that wire. Now, for added security around wires, Citizens Bank requested a customization to add multi-factor authentication in front of all wire releases. So in this case, the user has to enter a password and token before the wire can be released. Once the wire has been released, we can switch back to the online session for our user Amy. Amy can navigate over to the completed wire section and see the real-time update that her wire was released and the transaction was successfully processed and the funds have been sent. Next, we'll show some transactions originating from the SAP Corporate Mobile application. There are several payment initiation options, including internal transfers and wire initiation. After submitting the transfer from the mobile app, we can switch back to the online session where user Amy can see the transaction that user Greg just created on his mobile device. Now let's initiate and release a wire transfer from the mobile device. The mobile app pulls the list of wire templates to which the user has access based on the user's entitlements in the online system. The user can review the details of each template, load it up directly, and create the transaction. Once the wire has been created, assuming I have the authority to create and release my own wires, I can head over to the wire release module, pass through the secondary authentication, and release the wire on the spot. With SAP's commercial mobile banking app, Citizens Bank leaped to the forefront of the commercial mobile banking world in 2010. With lots of exciting new functionality and support for additional devices rolled out in July of 2013, no commercial bank has a better mobile offering. This allows the Citizens commercial users to be more efficient and more productive from anywhere in the world at any time. A huge value add in today's fast-paced digital world.